10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome to the Competition Plus Power Hour. You're seeing it live here on Tuesday night on the Competition Plus TV. That's the YouTube channel. The Competition Plus Twitter. Yes, you can follow the little bird as in the Competition Plus version, and the Facebook page as well. Like, follow all of those. And by the way, hit the share button on this show from wherever you are watching. I'm Lee Kraft, the Monday Morning Racer. Looking forward to talking drag racing along with you. Let us know where you're watching from, and from the great state of California and the southern side of it. Darren Williams Jr. alongside with me tonight, co-hosting the Power Hour. Darren?
Yes, sir.
Good to have you, man.
Yes, sir. Competition Plus Power Hour live on a Tuesday night. We got Robert Hight, Josh Hart. Let's get it.
Right, we do. Josh Hart, Robert Hight. We've got them on tonight. Two fuel guys. Going to be certainly a fascinating conversation. Josh Hart recently, him and his wife adopted a little boy. He's got the Fan Fest. It's going to be happening at his Bernie's speed shop down there before the Gator Nationals. And Robert Hight, someone who we could argue many ways ought to be the champion, but yet by the rules, he's not. He didn't win it. Ron Capps did, and how has he dealt with that? And also new partnerships that were old partnerships formed within JFR for Robert Hight into this year. So there is plenty to cover, Mr. American Hot Rod Entertainment, Competition Plus assistant editor.
Yeah, man, where you want to start? So just going back to what you said, 8 wins for Robert Hight last year in 2022, his best season yet in Nitro Funny Car, 2 wins in the countdown in 3 final rounds, and it still wasn't enough to win the championship. Wow. I got to ask him, it's like, man, does that bog your mind? You did all that, had that much success, and it still wasn't enough.
I find it fascinating that in motorsports, numbers seem to repeat, and numbers come up, and lightning at times does proverbially strike again. And yes, it was kind of a, oh, I got you, a little payback, a little, you got me, I get you now between Ron Capps and Robert Hight. Several years ago, similar numbers, similar season, similar situation, but
almost
Ron
identical.
Was the one that didn't get the championship. Robert did. So it's funny how in motorsports it works out that way. And I'm sure we're poised at this moment, at least, that we're going to have another heavyweight fight between Ron Capps, Robert Hight.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly Matt Hagan's going to be involved, and I think Cruz is going to step up and be involved. But it's going to be interesting to talk with Robert, see where he is and what they're thinking about. I'm sure, he handles so much of the business side of John Force Racing. I'm sure pinning a new partnership, that's a win in and of itself. And that is morale boosting in that camp and can spur you on to go and fight for a championship. Man, I was thumbing through my National Dragster. It came in the mail,
nice.
a little thicker issue, and you got some great articles in here from the National Dragster folks, and also Top Fuel preview and Funny Car preview, and it lets you know where you can follow everybody, and it's just a nice recap. And you got anatomy of a Top Fuel Dragster in here, and you got Cameron Ferray's mentioned, Doug Foley, all the usual names, along with Buddy Hull, Spencer Massey, Dan Mercier, where you can follow them, and a little bit of information on who they are in this most recent edition of National Dragster.
Nice. I like it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Buddy Hall does this upcoming season. Not sure how many races he's going to do in 2023, but you talk about new sponsor with Moonshine, also at Vertex Roofers, bringing on Mike Guger. Mike Guger, he's a bad man. Used to work for Bernstein back in the day. I'm curious to see how he tunes that Top Fuel car next year. Well, this year, I should say. It's going to be a lot of fun to see Buddy Hall step up his program this year.
It is. I'm expecting a few more races. Buddy was just in 5. Did qualify for every one that he went to, and it wasn't just a situation where those fields were only 16 cars or less. There were a couple of those times there were individuals that had to be knocked out for Buddy to be in the field. Oh, by the way, Darren,
Yes.
next Tuesday is an important holiday for some,
Yeah.
at least for the commercial candy people. We've got Valentine's Day coming up. For all of you with a special significant other. It comes a time where, well, you need to get that special someone a gift. Darren, do you know what gift? You know what kind of gift drag racing fans should get for their significant other?
Enlighten me, Lee.
Do you know?
I do not know.
You don't
I'm
know?
trying to see where you go with this. Yeah. I'm
Trying to
curious. I'm curious.
There is a Top Fuel dragster owner and driver who owns a chocolate company.
Oh, really?
Yes. And you all out there, if you need to get chocolates, he should be the guy that you buy from.
Who is it, Lee? Tell us.
Mitch King.
Mitch King. Okay, there you go.
That's right.
Like
he owns the confectionery down there in Galveston, Texas. And just search Galveston, Texas, confectionery chocolate. Get some chocolates from Mitch King and help him burn some more nitro.
Okay, but he living here in Los Angeles. If I order it now, will it be here in time?
I don't know. That's his problem, not mine. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Go there, order, get it, overnight it, whatever you got to do. But honestly, there's so many people in drag racing that are connected in so many different ways in so many different industry and fields. But yeah, if you're a drag racing fan, you're watching this show, you're like, hey, I need to buy chocolates. Don't just go to Walmart. Go and find Mitch King's chocolate little factory down there in Galveston, order from them, and give your loved ones some theoretically nitro-infused chocolate-covered cherries or whatever you might want.
I like it. What's your plans for Valentine's Day, Lee? You got anything planned for next Tuesday? After the show, I should say. After the show.
If we have a show, which I don't mind doing a show, you won't be here. You've got a lady friend that you certainly got to take out. And, Sam, I'm plugging away. I'm doing the drag racing thing. And, if there's a gal out there that can keep up with me, fine, great. But no, I don't have no major plans except to be right here with all the fine folks that are watching and commenting, like Todd Yuntz and Doug Core and Andrew and Dakota and Mr. Trend there, or Miss Trent, I'm sorry, maybe Miss. Anyway, you all fine folks commenting. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's my plans.
Yeah.
Dive in more drag racing. Drag racing is my love. It is.
I like that, Lee. I like that. We got a cool comment here from Andrew. He says, how many times has Robert Hight run a car that wasn't Auto Club as the main sponsor? All I can think of was the California Highway Patrol car a couple years back. That was a very cool car, the California Highway Patrol car. But yeah, I think throughout Robert Hight's whole career, since he started 2005, these last 17 years, it's always been Auto Club. You got to think about it. Robert Hight has to be the longest sponsorship driver duo in drag racing right now. You just don't ever see that anymore. And it's really cool to say, but it leads me to this point. So remember when In-N-Out Burger took over the naming rights of Pomona, and we're all like, whoa, does this mean Auto Club is backing away from Robert Hight? Right. Obviously not. Auto Club is still, full on board Robert Hight and John Force Racing. But they just announced 4 races. Flavor Pack will be the main sponsor for Robert Hight. We've seen Auto Club back away from Fontana, Famoso, and Bakersfield. Pomona. Is this maybe the start of them probably pushing back just a little bit, just dwindling down their support just a little bit? I mean, I think it's a fair question.
It is certainly a fair question. And it may become a reality that their partnership is of such that it's more of a part-time type of primary situation. The article in which I read, it's like the Cornwell Tools, Flavor Pack, and Auto Club funny car. And we just live in a day and time where it's so many different brands coming together. And that's not just drag racing. I mean, that's F1. That is in NASCAR. It's in, obviously, drag racing. That's what we're talking about. It is everywhere that you have these co-branding situations. Or, if you're a company, Stenhouse, Ricky Stenhouse. I find he's got a great partner in that he can have like all one brand, all one company, and then it's got 5 different brands on it because it's like Johnson & Johnson. That works out really good. But I think we're just going to see more and more of that in motorsports and in sponsorship as we move ahead, because here's why. We have more ways of marketing today than we did 30, 40 years ago.
Yes.
Whether it's through social media or digital media, the web, on a car, or with some type of cause, whatever it might be, there's just more ways to market. And you got to split up your marketing dollars to hit those avenues. So I don't think we're going to see Auto Club go away. I will say what I do notice is you see them stepping away from naming rights type of sponsorships. And I wonder really how impactful naming rights sponsorships are. Like, I'm so glad In-N-Out became the naming rights sponsor there at the Fairplex for the drag strip. Granted, when we think of places that have brand names as a stadium name, oftentimes people still just call it the original stadium name and never actually refer to the brand. I think one of the few is like AT&T Stadium with the Dallas Cowboys, because that's just what it was to begin with when it was built. But there's plenty that you just state it, and it's not actually stating the actual naming right. One locally I think of is the Bilo Center. Well, it's not Bilo. It hasn't been Bilo in years, but it's like Bon Secours Wellness Center. Like, what? What is that?
It's like the Staples Center here in Los Angeles, but now it's Crypto.com Arena, but we still call it Staples Center. So same thing.
Bingo. Right. So if you got there first, you're going to have it forever. Staples is still getting the effect off of it, but they're stepping away from naming rights. Now, I say that, and everybody out there is like, well, why are y'all talking about marketing and naming rights? Well, it affects drag racing in this point. Yes, they have stepped away from naming rights, but what they haven't stepped away is a personality, and that's Robert Hight. That's John Force Racing. That's the team that is there, and those people that will go to Auto Club events and go to, hey, drive smarter and wiser and be safer on the road events, and that funny car representing something greater than the road, but yet similar to being on the road. But a person is tied with it, someone that's tangible, can be seen, interacted with. You cannot interact with a building, and most of the time when you do and it's memorable, you didn't like it.
And I'll tell you what, Robert Hight has been an amazing ambassador for AAA Auto Club these past 17 years. I mean, he's just done an amazing job. He's won championships. I won a bunch of races. I'll tell you what, Robert Hight, top 5 all-time Nitro funny car, top 5 Nitro winner of all time. I mean, 61 career national wins. Robert Hight, that's a bad man right there. I'll tell you what, behind him of a Nitro funny car. And but I just thought it was really like kind of curious, like, wow, just to see, Auto Club wasn't sponsoring all 21 races this season, as opposed to how they've done in the past with Flavor Pack stepping up for 4. So just thought that was a little interesting.
I imagine someone that probably handled the NASCAR account also got into handling the NHRA account, possibly, because they have a presence with Joey Logano often, but it's rare. It's like in Southern California when they're racing. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, you got to get Bobby on, get some insider information. He's down back in Gainesville. There is another test session going. So, ladies and gentlemen, all this show being pumped up by Weldon High Performance. And Weldon High Performance is the pumps that you need to get for your high performance application. And Bobby Bennett back to us from the same place, yet a different room.
Yes, I've got a better lighting situation here. although the hotel's not the same because I can actually sleep at night because there's not a club across the street going boom, 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 boom all night long. No protest, no police cars with their sirens going downstairs. I can actually, the silence will be deafening tonight.
So no protest, but you're at a protest.
That's right.
There you go.
But not the official protest because there isn't one this year. There's actually 3 test sessions. Well, maybe a fourth one. There's a fourth one, which will be the week of the Gainesville race. But there was a test last week where we had Antron, Justin Ashley, and Leah Pruitt making runs, plus a whole gaggle of pro stock bikes were there, including Gage Herrera. Man, I'm telling you, mark my word, that's your 2023 champion. I'm going ahead. I'm throwing it out there. That's your 2023 champion. And it's going to go down to him and Gladstone.
Okay.
Matt Smith and everybody will be in the battle there, but those two are going to be your bikes to beat. There you go. I threw that one out there. Okay, guys. This week we've got the Team Kalitta cars coming in, and something to watch will be Doug Kalitta running a canopy car for the first time. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but we'll know by Friday what's going to happen. So that's going to be something to watch. While last week's test was very top fuel centric, this week will be a good amount of funny cars. Right now, you'll have the two. You'll have the J.R. Todd Kalitta funny car coming in to run. You'll also have the John Force 2 funny cars here. And from what I understand, they're still thrashing to get Alexis DeJoria's car here. And plus, we'll have the 2 top fuelers of Kalitta and Sean Langdon testing. So it should be a interesting and quick couple of days, especially with the canopy car. And I've been told by my sources inside of Kalitta that if the Doug Kalitta canopy works fine, you'll the next one you'll see with one will be Sean Langdon. There's no doubt that it's a safer car. Not saying that the traditional configuration isn't safer, but this is safer +1. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and in Factory X news, looks like we've got news actually. Outside of Jeff Turk's car and several others being ready, looks like they're progressing along with Chris Holbrook's Mustang at Jerry Bickle's race shop there, and that car's expected to be out for the 2 exhibition races as well as a season starting later. Now, in Factory Stock Showdown, from what we hear, and I haven't been able to talk to Mark Powick, but I've got enough sources telling me that Mark Powick's going to field his own team this year. So he will not be running under the DSR banner. At least that's what we've heard. Again, that's still in the rumor stage, nothing official. But look for us to have an article soon coming out on Mark Powick.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Looks like the $50,000 comp eliminator shootout is getting closer to happening. Stay tuned.
Very cool.
News
Very
coming.
cool. Hey, speaking of more money in racing, Chris Graves dropped today that $350,000 in payouts for the Funny Car Chaos season or the whole Chaos brand. I mean, in payouts from 1st to 10th in points. Look, drag racing on the rise in a lot of ways, I think.
Well, in a lot of ways. Not only that, we had this rookie writer wrote something about Bakersfield having the most money. A greenhorn rider. You know what a greenhorn is, don't you? Right? He's the greenhorn, right? Darren, tell us about that, Darren.
Let me jump in this. So, we're talking about big money right here, but March meet in a couple of weeks, about a month away, the biggest purse in Top Fuel history at the March meet, $60,000, $10,000 to the winner, thanks to Custom Floaters, $5,000 to the runner-up, thanks to Planet Fitness, semifinalist, $3,500, quarterfinalist, $2,500, first-round losers automatically get $2,000. And they're actually paying for people who are traveling. So a lot of the teams are from California, but the teams who are actually traveling in will get $1,500 for travel costs. So biggest purse in Top Fuel history at the March meet, $60,000.
And in Competition Plus news, Roof Tech has signed on as the title rights sponsor for Competition Plus. And possibly within 2 weeks, we should be announcing a presenting sponsor, but it's not done until you sign the contract. So,
right.
Drag racing across the board, we're doing good, and looks like we've got some new advertisers coming in on the Power Hour. So
that sounds good. Thank you, Roger Brogdon. Thank you.
Yes,
for all you're doing for drag racing. Keep up the good work.
Oh yeah. It's definitely been a season coming back from the hell of 2020, just to see drag racing standing up stronger than ever, and the whole deal with the AAA. From what we hear, that they're starting to get into other avenues for their branding, such as golf. I'm hearing it is what it is, but like, companies that were very automotive oriented naturally, which should have been, are starting to look at other avenues. Like, for instance, Castrol GTX went to other avenues. Like, I know down in Australia, they pulled completely out of drag racing, the Castrol GTX brand, to go with soccer, and I will not call that football. Or rugby or whatever it is. It's that sport where they beat the hell out of each other. In my day, it was called kill the man with the ball. Although there was you just throw it up and everybody jump on him until he threw it up and somebody else caught it. Then we jump on them. So that's the way it goes. And as for the Valentine's Day, I finally get a Valentine's Day home with my love of 20 years, Christina Ann Bennett. We celebrate our 20th anniversary, but if there's only one downside to that day, my father-in-law will be undergoing open heart surgery, so keep him in your prayers. And but 20 years, let me tell you something. It takes a special woman that when your man gets on an airplane, comes home, and already prints out the ticket for his next trip the next day, and he just comes home just to switch suitcases. And for 20 years, she has stood by me. She never complained when I missed the kids' stuff. She never complained that I had to work because it's a job. But I'm telling you what, my only regret with her is that I didn't meet her sooner. But she's a big pain in the butt at times. Oh,
you were doing good, Bobby. And then
I was doing good for a while there.
You're doing good.
Well, congratulations and happy anniversary.
I can edit
Bobby.
that part out later, if you need me to. So,
Well, I kind of tell her all the time too, but I tell her I love her. I said, how everybody says with all due respect before they get ready to rip you a new one? I always say, right.
There you go.
There you go. Well, Bobby, thank you for the information. Folks, keep your eye out on competitionplus.com. More information coming from testing and Bobby Bennett himself and beyond. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right. Hey, this is Competition Plus Power Hour, but if you want the right products, you got to get the competition products.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
All right, just a few moments away, ladies and gentlemen, from getting Josh Hart here on the show. He is in the green room, and we'll have him on in just a few moments. Always enjoy talking with Josh. He just tells it like it is, and he just nonchalant. I'm like, every time he drops something, I wonder what he's going to drop tonight, because it just like rolls out, and you're like, did he just say that? And he says it just like, yeah, there you go. And you're like, wow, okay. Okay, so I'm wondering what it is tonight.
Probably the chillest dude behind the wheel of a top field dragster. Just really chill in all his interviews. Just really chill, laid back, but does his job on the racetrack. But before we bring on Josh Hart, though, Lee, can I bring up something? Because I don't know if I'm going to be on the show next week.
Sure.
Valentine's Day 2010. Remember what happened?
No.
So Valentine's Day 2010 was the 50th anniversary of the Winter Nationals at Pomona. Larry Dixon won top fuel, but John Force broke his year-and-a-half-long losing streak, winning Pomona, beating Ron Capps in the final round on a hole shot, went on to win the championship that year. I was there at Pomona. Great day, Valentine's Day 2010 at Pomona. Just want to throw that out there.
But was it the 50th?
Okay, 51st if you want to be technical, but they advertised it as the 50th.
Just saying, some obscure drag racing history there for anyone that might know. So. Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I bring that up is because John mentioned it in his interview. Dedicating it to Lori Forrest in the interview because he had broke a long losing streak, hadn't won since Topeka 2008 after his crash. So just wanted to bring that up.
Definitely one worth celebrating and remembering. And what so many great events we have seen over drag racing history, and what so many more great events we have ahead of us. And I certainly do not believe that we have we're in a period where drag racing is going under. I think it is growing. I think it's beginning to thrive once again. I think we are experiencing some of the best drag racing that there has ever been when you think of competitive fields. It used to be, even with national events that had only 8-car fields, yes, those existed, ladies and gentlemen. They weren't always 16. And matter of fact, they've even been more than that at times. But there would be times, even with 8 cars, you're looking at 3 or 4 of them effectively. They're the ones that are going to win the drag race. Or, less than half the field is going to win the 16-car race. And now we're looking at in Top Fuel and Funny Car, so many of these fields, it's hard. I put it this way. Whoever the tricksty tipster is, they have to be on like heartburn medicine, because I wouldn't want to be that person and trying to give odds and go bet and who is the odd on favorite, especially in Top Fuel. Just insane. Insane.
Top Fuel, insane, man. I mean, all the different winners we had last year, the upsets. You remember the winner's curse on the countdown? Like, you thought Top Fuel was crazy in 2022? Well, watch out in 2023.
For sure. Speaking of great moments, someone I think in the future is going to have many great moments on and off the track, that's Josh Hart. We're going to take a break and bring him on here to the Competition Plus Power Hour.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
Josh, man, always a pleasure. Good to have you on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Coming from the great state of Florida, or are you up in Indy?
I am at our country home in Florida.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, glad you are enjoying some time at home. Glad you're here on the show. First of all, I'm excited about. I tried to yank a image, but could not find an image to yank. But you're going to have a big show, a big hangout at your place before the Gator Nationals. So thank you for that, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's kind of our first time we've ever tried this, but my wife Brittany is at the helm, and she's organizing March 8th, 6 through I think it's 9 p.m. We're just going to try to do what Elon did there in Dallas, which is awesome for the fans, and super excited about it. Good food, good time, lots of awesome cars, and hopefully we get a good driver turnout for all the fans.
Do you have an official live streamer yet? I'm just curious.
I do not.
I'll call you, Josh.
Well, I'm happy you're going in that direction because, you think about Dallas and what they've done with Stampede of Speed and what you guys are trying to do. Gainesville, one of the biggest races on the tour. I feel like Gainesville deserves that. It needs to be, shown as a big time event and everything like that. But a lot of big time news for you in the off season as well. Partnership extension with Advanced Auto Parts. Fill us in on that.
Yep. It's my first multi-year deal. So we've got a 3-year contract with Advanced Auto Parts and TechNet. Very blessed to have that. And we've also got our agreement standing with R&L Carrier. So for the first time, we know what this thing is going to cost, and we're gonna go out there and race like we have nothing to lose.
And by the way, folks, that R&L agreement, he means agreement. Like there's no contract, as he revealed on my show. I mean, I was like, what? Everybody's like, what? That's like one of the most common. Like, what? There's no contract. So yes, those deals do still exist in this world. Now, Josh, I asked you when we had you at PRI, I'm curious, have y'all been able to work on it? Are we going to have the truck versus dragster yet? Any talks? Has it happened? Can we expect it?
We've got a little match race that we planned with Cruz Pedregon, which I'm super excited about. Lo and behold, they are receptive to actually doing this. So can't say when, but yes, that was a great idea. I ran it up the flagpole there, and everybody's interested.
Ooh.
Wait, Lee, this is the first I'm hearing about this. What is this?
Well, if you would watch my show,
I watched your
no.
show.
No, I just mentioned to Josh. I thought it'd be cool. Let's see the truck versus the dragster.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm probably gonna have to sign my life away in liability and safety forms, but we'll get it done. And we got the ball rolling.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I am.
Okay. Well, Josh, so obviously from Ocala, Florida, the home of Big Daddy Don Garlits. Just, before we get into more news, I want to ask you this question, just kind of a personal question. Favorite swamp rat? Is it 30, 32, 34? Do you have a favorite? Fill us in, man.
I like and appreciate all of them, but I got the pleasure of working with Mr. Garlits on the electric dragster.
Okay.
Now, I'd be remorse to say I don't know the number, but I was very blessed to be able to work with him. I was the one that actually was strapping him in the car and pushing him back after the burnout. So that was an awesome program. That's a real story. I love that car.
Awesome. I'm gonna look up the number right now. Give me a second. I'm gonna look up that. Which one?
Yeah, look that up there. No, that's
it's got to be like 30, 40 or something crazy.
Oh yeah, right. How
just keeps on going,
It does. It really does. And it, Darren mentioned it. I like what might be shaping up, and I hope that the NHRA will embrace what you're doing and what Don Garlits is already doing. But if, you've got your event, and then Don has Thursday night, the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame inductee ceremony and dinner. Then you roll in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, man, that gives some big marquee moments to the Gator Nationals that it does deserve. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to work with Don on the Hall of Fame. We've sponsored that Bernie Speed Shop in the past, even in my top dragster days. But for the first time, we're going to, kind of have an open house feel at Bernie Speed Shop. And probably one of my most frequently asked questions is, what is Bernie's? So we're just going to open up the house, let everybody see what we on. maybe have a live band, fireworks, just try to have a good time. Very relaxed, low key environment. Like I said, a lot of awesome cars.
Nice. And so it's swap. We're at 38.
38. All right.
38.
Okay, 38.
And so just going off of what Lee said, talking about, Garland's thing and your deal, obviously we're seeing a switch in the schedule this year with the Gator Nationals kicking off the season opener. I'm just curious, just in your opinion, do you think this is a right start for the NHRA? You talk about, NASCAR's at the Coliseum in February now. You have the Super Bowl in February now, the Daytona 500. Do you think it's a right move to kind of to push the start of the season back into March and just kick it off in Gainesville as opposed to Pomona?
I'm grateful that it's starting in Gainesville, but I'm probably the wrong person to ask about the schedule. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Just fuel expense, wear and tear on the equipment. I don't understand it, but it's their sandbox. I just play in it.
See, boom, right there. There you go.
There you go.
No sugarcoating about it. He just, hey, I'm in the sandbox, I'm playing, and don't make any sense at all. And Josh, another thing that to me has not made sense this year has been the way testing has worked out. One, what has your team done testing wise, if anything yet? What will be done testing wise? And are you and the gang a bit disappointed that there wasn't the typical big testing session? Because I feel like that big pro testing session is a good media opportunity. It's a good opportunity for some synergy, and it just makes sense to get everybody together that can get together instead of 2-3 strung out type of situation it seems like we're going through this year. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked testing at Wild Horse, but at the same time, if you're really going to try different things, you don't want the scrutiny and outside influence. So I don't mind the smaller private test sessions. We were planning on doing one with Antron and Justin. My son just couldn't be there. So we're excited about, testing maybe end of next week. And then obviously the test session leading up to the Gator Nationals, which is obviously in our benefit. It's going to play right into the race conditions and track, obviously. So either way, I'm just happy to smell nitro in the air.
Yes, sir. Nitro's in the air. Lee, are you really talking about testing? Testing, man? No, Allen Iverson practice, and I'm just going off of that. I'm joking.
Hey, you're talking to the guy who films testing, okay? I mean, I stay after the national event and film testing. I'm that guy. So.
I'm joking. But for you, Josh, obviously, great first year in 2021, won 2 races, running your debut at the Gator Nationals, won Charlotte. Last year, I'm not even going to call it a sophomore slump. I don't think it was a sophomore slump. I think you guys still had a good year, although you did not win a race. Just top field was just so competitive last year. For you going into this year, what's the mindset? Is it more so, this is a bounce back year kind of redemption, or is it more so, hey, we're not far off, we're just right there, we just got to execute a little better in 2023?
I'm calling 2022 my education year. I had a lot of variables and things I didn't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So in 2023, we're going to race like we have nothing to lose. I don't care who's in the other lane. My goal is to beat every single person that I'm up against every single time. And, we're just going to go out there and throw down. That's the game plan.
Well, Josh, big news here recently, personally, adoption of a little boy into your family, a growing family with that. Why the adoption route, and what was the challenges of adoption? I've always heard that it's not as easy as people think. It takes a lot of time. So y'all have been through the process now. Why, and what do you think could be better about it, if anything?
Adoption versus abortion, that's probably a topic that I don't want to get into on any arena. But, my wife and I were not blessed with the ability to have our own children. And, we tried the adoption route. We tried in vitro, IUI, anything you can imagine to make it happen. And it just never happened. So, we were told when we submitted our profile book, which is almost like a job resume, that it could be a year before we would even be seriously considered for adoption. And long story short, it was 5 days. So we were contacted on the 5th day after submitting our profile book and was told that he was to be born in 2 weeks. So literally this whole thing has happened in the last 3 weeks. For me has been a blur, but we couldn't be more proud. We're very, very blessed. And I'm 100% pro adoption. I have great biological parents, but I have a set of adoptive parents too that have kind of helped me along the way, and I don't know where I'd be without them. So adoption for me has definitely impacted my life in a way that only those that have experienced can talk about. So if anybody has questions, comments, concerns about anything like that, or they're even remotely interested, I'm an open book. I'll gladly answer whatever questions and try to guide them to this. It's a great opportunity for everybody involved.
Well, Josh, congratulations on the addition to your family. We have a lot of congratulations in the live chat as well. And there's people in my family that I know have been adopted, and it's been a positive influence on their lives. So I just want to, say thank you and congratulations to you on what you've done. I really do. I really do appreciate that. It's really cool.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. 2023, we know it's going to be as competitive as 2022, if not more. And you've got all the partners lined up. You've had your educating season. What are some goals? What are some tangible goals? Is Josh Hart going to be working and functioning that way if this season of, all right, we want 3 wins, we want to finish top 5 in point? Is that how you and your team are going to be looking at it, or is it as simple as go out there and don't care who is in the other lane round by round by round? How are y'all putting the focus and where?
Yeah, I think Ron Douglas and the team and I definitely feel that way. It doesn't matter who's in the other lane. But goals, I mean, the pre-programmed response that you're going to get from everybody is chase the championship. Well, we all want to do that. But for me, it's be the best driver I can be, stage faster, stage more shallow, better lights, work on personal fitness. I've dropped almost 18 pounds just trying to make sure that we're at minimum weight overall with the car. New parts, cutting edge technology, trying to change with the times. Any competitive edge we can find, we're into it, and when that magical potion kind of comes together with the team, we're going to win races. So that's where I'm at.
And so I got to ask you, what is the workout regimen for a top fuel driver look like, Josh? Because you just mentioned that a second ago. Fill us in on that. I'm kind of curious. I'm a guy who works out myself, so kind of curious on that.
So the next time that we can all be together, I just want you to spend 5 minutes with me, and I promise it'll change your life. So I'm the guy that was like, hey, I don't have time for this. I can't go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. I do work a lot, but I've come up with a literal 5-minute a day workout, no weights, no nothing. I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. And it's tough. It's really, really tough. So I've got an awesome co-crew chief, Dave Gatterall, on our team. And I tell everybody he's got kangaroo strength. He's from Australia, and he whips my butt every time we're together. So depending upon how we perform Friday night, kind of forecast how bad the workout's going to be. So, but yeah, anytime we're at the racetrack and you guys want to try it, give me literally 5 minutes. We'll time it, and we'll see if you can make it 5 minutes.
I'm down. Let's do it. I'm down.
5 minutes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we actually have an ongoing competition inside of Bernie's Speed Shop. So we have the service department, the trailer sales department, and the car sales department. And the entity, let's call it, that grosses the least has to participate in my workout that day.
So if it's 5 minutes, is it like a HIIT workout? Is it like, high intensity, just, just in and out?
I can't really explain it. I'd have to show you,
Okay.
but I promise if you even attempted my leg workout, no matter how strong you think you are, you'll be thinking of me for the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, we
Let's
got
do
to
it,
see
Lee.
this. We got to
Let's do
see
it, Lee.
this.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we got to see this. So,
We'll do it. We'll do it at the Bernie's car show. Okay, the open house. We'll be in the back doing a quick workout, and then you'll hate me the rest of the night.
right. Yeah. I mean, Darren, have you ever heard of a 5-minute workout?
I mean, only thing I could think of is maybe like something that's like kind of high intensity HIIT, but other than that, no, I don't know. That's why I'm curious. Like,
Interesting. Okay, we're going to see this. And we will be the testimony givers of how challenging it is, especially if I get rolled out of the show and don't make it to the Gator Nationals or something. So yeah, we'll see.
In your word, you'll participate, right?
Yes. I've actually been back in the gym, and I'm down like 30 pounds right now, actually. So I've been back working on it, and I've got some of my own goals. So, and I work a lot too. So having something that would be 5 minutes and get it done, and yet lose weight. You're. Why haven't you put it on DVD yet, or put it out there? I mean, my goodness, dude, that's what everybody wants. So we got Josh Hart, the physical trainer, in a Top Fuel car too.
Everybody wants a quick, fast, easy workout, 5 minutes in and out. They don't want to do the hour-long thing. So hey, maybe you can monetize this. I don't know. Maybe not. Yep. But Josh, talking about were you saying, Josh?
I said we'll all collaborate. We can split it 3 ways.
There you go. Well, talking about diets and working out and chasing championships and stuff like that. Mission Foods, I believe it's called the Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. I think that's the right name. I just want to get your opinion on it. And the reason why is, for me, I love the concept. I just don't agree with being awarded bonus points towards the countdown. For that, I feel like you should be awarded bonus points towards the countdown for winning races. But it doesn't matter what I think. It matters about what the drivers think. So I just want to get your opinion on what you thought of the whole thing.
You have to be a little bit more specific. Are you asking me what I think of the countdown?
Of the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge of, re-racking the semifinals and qualifying and getting awarded bonus points towards the countdown for if you win it all.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to that. I don't like participation awards.
There you go.
There you go.
Now, Josh.
So much that I want to say, but the truth is, I mean, look at last year's countdown. It was, no bueno, guys.
Right.
I chose NHRA because there are no participation awards. My kids won't know what a participation awards is. I just not that guy.
So the program, let's say if there were no points involved and it was just a money multiplier bonus type situation during qualifying, do you think that's advantageous to the sport and to you all as competitors and make qualifying a bit more competitive, if you will? Or is it best not to have any of that competitive guys in qualifying and you go out and you just try to post that best time for your team under the conditions and the field that's there?
No, I think the money end of it makes sense, because it will lure more people to participate. There's a lot of people in our class that sit out certain qualifiers shouldn't, so I'm all about that end of it to help lower budget teams be able to participate and have fun more, so I'm pro that.
And, just as a question for both of you guys, I'm curious if this, this whole deal, just knowing that there are bonus points on the line towards the countdown, if this will stop maybe, and I'm not saying all the teams do it, but, certain teams that probably test, right before the countdown or, in the middle of the season, will that kind of take that away because knowing, every point kind of matters, just throwing it out there.
Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Lost audio, Lee.
Yeah, Lee, we can't hear you, Lee.
Sorry, I'll take a sip. Yeah, I'm like Josh. I just
Probably just saying what I was thinking.
well, yeah. I think the points addition with this race within a race and qualifying is a phony attempt to fabricate drama on race day that didn't exist from the previous race.
Mhm.
And I'm fine with the money, and I'm fine with qualifying with the point structure that there is. There already is points, actually. You know, if you go out there and you run the low ET of that session, you're awarded points. I'm fine with that. That's cool. You know, you tried to be the top dog in that session and then do it in the next session and do it in the next session. You can rack up some points. I'm fine with that. But now we got like a system within that system, and how it can impact. I just look, like, to this day, I still don't quite understand. All right, so if you win a stage in a NASCAR race, you get playoff points but how do playoff points, but what if you don't get in the top? And I feel like with what the NHRA is doing with the point side of this, it's leaned that way.
Well, yeah, I think. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh.
Keep it simple, stupid.
You should be awarded bonus points towards the countdown for actually winning races. I think if you're going to award bonus points towards the countdown, it should be for winning the actual race. Just my opinion.
I agree with that. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And I'm sure in about, 7 minutes or so, we'll have a man on the show and Robert Hight that will definitely agree with that statement.
Yes. Yeah. We have a comment here from Drag Racing Central, though. He says, I disagree. Points during the shootout make it interesting. Otherwise, it serves no purpose and adds nothing to the national event. So he has a different side of it. So he actually thinks, it's a pretty cool idea,
And I could see like that adding to the national event. But I think, I think Josh feels this way. You can take enough with just the money aspect, and you've got 2 funny cars, 2 top fuel cars, whatever other, and you're like, this last round of qualifying, this pair in this session, there is $10,000 on the line. I think that's show enough on a Friday or Saturday night. I think people can get hyped about that. I mean, people got hyped over like $1,000 between Krista Baldwin and Joe Morrison at the Stampede of Speed 2 years ago. You put something on the line and go out there and a race within a race when it is money. I mean, we're not talking about points when they're doing it on the street and street outlaws and all that. It's money.
Yep.
Money talks. Points are imaginary numbers. Like, whose line is it anyway, where the points don't matter?
I always go back to the Stampede of Speed because I think that job it pulls in so many other people that don't even care about drag racing, and it just got a whole different variety of people to at least acknowledge that we were there, and the Festival of Speed was just it's an awesome event.
Well, Josh, we've mentioned again the Stampede of Speed, and we kind of talked about the Stampede of Speed and what you're doing at your race shop and what Don Garlitz does with the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame and the Gator Nationals itself. I'm curious, have y'all been able to reach out to Gainesville, the municipality itself, and Ocala? Is there any actual community backing or talk to get the community itself tied in, just like Waxahachie is involved there with the Texas Motorplex in Texas?
Bernie's donates to about every local car show that we can participate in and has for the last 12 years. So it's not uncommon for us to have 400 or 500 show cars on premise with about 7,000 people without else's outside influence. So I think for the first time that we're trying this, Don Garlitz agreed to be there and sign autographs alongside many other drivers in every class. So we're just going to kind of test the water first, and hopefully it gets some traction. And maybe 2024 is a really dynamite event.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And like I said, Josh, I really appreciate what you're doing. I feel like, the Gator Nationals, it's one of the majors. It's one of the crown jewels. It has to be, advertised as that, has to be pushed as that. And I love what you guys are doing, just like Dallas. And I feel like other national events should be starting, following suit, very soon. Probably final question for me is, just going back to the extension with Advanced Auto Parts, being a team owner yourself, how reassuring is that knowing you have a sponsor there that'll, will stick with you through the thin and thin and always be there right with you?
Oh, it's been great. It's been absolutely great. R&L is unbelievably awesome. I truly believe in their product. There's no smoke and mirrors. TechNet has been 8 years. Chris Armstrong's on board. He's been awesome. He's more excited about racing sometimes than I am. I mean, he's literally counting the minutes and the days. He texts me every morning, and he's just a fan that turned into a team owner slash partner slash awesome racing ally. So to have the foundation that we have going into 2023, knowing what we've learned in 2022, I think we're going to be pretty unstoppable.
I like it. Josh, last question for me. At Indianapolis PRI show, you mentioned that were you able to take some time with the family and do some more exploring, get away from the show a little bit and relax to some degree? I'm curious, beyond PRI, before getting into this full swing of race mode and the grudge that can be the NHRA Camping World Series Tour, what kind of R&R have y'all been able to get in? Any highlights?
There's no off season. I was back and forth to Indy more than I'd like to admit, and Ron does a great job running our program. Love that guy. The team themselves, like Dave Gatterall, Scott Seizing, Kenny Carson, those guys make this thing happen, and the amount of work that they've done in such a short period of time is epic. I don't even know how to put it into words, but there's no such thing as an off season. And no, I didn't get any R&R. I came home to, start pushing the fire at Bernie's, and I'll be right back in the top fuel car in 12 days. So.
All right. Josh, thank you for your time, and we're looking forward to you having a great 2023. We even dare say expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Take care. Awesome.
Thank you, Josh.
Man, I'm looking forward to being down there Wednesday to what he's got going on at the Bernie's Speed Shop. That's going to be a heck of a time.
Okay, so I wasn't planning on coming to Gainesville, but I think I have to now.
I think you have to now.
I think I have to now.
Like,
unless if you come to Pomona, since I'm, come to Pomona.
Well, I at this time, I do plan on being at Pomona.
Wait, are you coming to the March meet?
Yes, I do plan on the March meet.
I'm trying to put the
No, I do plan on the March meet. Look, because this year is the 65th?
65th.
Thank you, 65th.
Yeah.
You talked about earlier, biggest purse for them in Top Fuel history at that event, and it just makes sense. I've got to mark that one off the list. It has got to happen, and I think it needs to happen this year for sure. So I'm looking forward to going to the March meet and finally get in that famous Famoso Dragway.
Dude, it's going to be amazing. 65th anniversary of the March meet. It's going to be a lot of fun. Top Fuel, Funny Car, Fuel Altered. And I'll tell you what, Josh Hart kept it real in his interview. Josh Hart, he's the man. We got another bad man coming up next. 3-time Nitro Funny Car World Champion.
Right after the break, Robert Hight.
If you want to take your vehicle's performance to new heights, you got to give it P. Like our original equipment technology, antifreeze, and coolant. Our formulas match the vehicle manufacturer's technology requirements so that we have the perfect match for every vehicle. That's one reason why Peak is among the fastest growing brands of coolant in America. We work harder to earn the trust of people like you every day.
Robert Hight, once again, here on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Thank you, man, for your time. First question, Well, first, let me say congratulations on the announcement. Flavar Pack going to be associated very closely with you this year. First question I have, are you going to wear a yellow fire suit?
There will be some yellow on it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Not full yellow.
Okay.
Nice. Robert, can you even think of a time, the last time you had something other than Auto Club on one of your race cars? I mean, since 2005, it's been Auto Club every single race.
That would be never. That's correct. Yeah, this is it's going to be new. Looking forward to the challenge. We got 3 great American-made companies that have come on board: AAA still and Auto Club, and then Cornwell Tools, and then Flavor Pack. Those are 3 really good American companies that I'm very, very proud to be associated with.
Now, help us understand, Robert, because I read an article and clearly it's AAA, it's Cornwell, it's Flavor Pack. Is this a situation where they're all on the car at the same time, or like one is primary and the other 2 are smaller, or are they going to have their own standalone cars? What does it look like?
Yes, so we will have they will always be on all the cars, but Cornwell has 11 races. The Auto Club, AAA have 6 races, and then Flavor Pack has 4 races. So, and those will be primary cars. Like you said, it's going to be different because all I've ever been in is red, white, and blue with AAA and Auto Club. But I am excited that we had 2 great companies see the value in John Force Racing and my race team. So, going to do a good job for them.
Man, it's going to look very weird because, like you said, you've been with AAA since 2005, ever since, winning that first race in Houston back in the day. But, I mean, just like, man, I'll tell you what, that Auto Club paint scheme that you just debuted on your social media, it looks amazing, though. I got to tell you that right off the bat. It's a pretty cool Auto Club looking paint scheme. But, let's kind of put a bow on 2022. And I know you kind of put it past you, but best year yet, 8 wins. 2 in the countdown on 3 final rounds, and it was still just not enough to get the job done. Does it kind of bog your mind that, having one of the best years of your career, still just to come up that short of winning a championship?
Oh, it definitely does. It's that was a tough one to get over, but you've got to move on. And, every year in the off season, you look around, you say, okay, what do we need to do to be better? Okay, how do we get better? We need to win more races, do a better job next year. But when I really look at last year, it's pretty tough to top that. Okay. I don't know if it's possible, to be honest with you. And, since 1996, when John Force won 13 of 18 races, I think this is the best funny car season anybody's ever had. And no first round losses. That's one of the things that I'm really proud of. Okay. That shows that we have a great team. They're not making mistakes. We're all pulling in the same direction. And that's a tough deal to follow up. I guess the way the point system works, you've got to be good at the end, and that's sometimes you got to say, well, I got to just be good at the last day of the season. That's how you win a championship. So, no, I'm excited. We're leaving tomorrow morning to go testing. We're going to test for 4 days in Gainesville, and try to learn some new things. Jimmy and the boys have been working real hard over the winter to come up with some new things to try to make this Auto Club Chevy faster and quicker and even more consistent than it was last year.
How many shotgun shells have you gone through since the end of 2022 just to get beyond and recuperate and be ready for 2023?
Not enough, actually. That's one of the things I really love to get out and do with my wife. That's how I met her. We both shoot, and looking forward to doing a little bit of that this summer when some off weekends. But that's one of the fun things to kind of get your mind off the racing. And honestly, I also think it helps you with racing. I think it makes you sharper, and the concentration level that you need, you can learn that from shooting shotguns.
The new deal, Flavor Pack, Cornwell Tools, Auto Club, you being president at John Force Racing, how directly involved were you in that deal, or were you hands off until it came to like drafting documents or things of that nature? where was your involvement in the scenes of getting this set up?
Well, Cornwell, we had been talking to Cornwell for the last 6 months, and when they found that there was going to be some real estate and some races open on my car, they were super excited about it. And it's just a matter of budget and putting it all together. So that took a while. But I will be honest, John Force really made a lot of this happen. We did have one other deal that fell through at the last minute that, we thought kind of was a done deal, and some things changed. So, Flavor Pack came on board right here at the end. And I must say, I can't wait to run that car. It's going to be the first 4 or 5 races that'll be the Flavor Pack car. And that is a great looking race car. It's I can't wait to show you guys. We will have that at Gainesville at the season opener.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a good looking hot rod.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
You just mentioned a second ago of, Jimmy Prock, trying to figure out some new speed secrets. And, a big thing for you guys last year was, you mentioned it at the beginning of the season last year, you guys, went back to your old clutch setup from 2019, and then it worked for you guys last year. And, can you fill us in on any new speed secrets coming into this year, or would you have to kill us if you had to tell us?
Yeah, it's the list is long, and that's the way it is every year when you go testing. We feel that just to go out and run the same thing, do the same thing is just wasting money and time. We could go to Gainesville tomorrow if it was the Gator Nationals and qualify and run what we ran last year and be very, very competitive. What we're always looking for is just that little edge to put us, just give us a little bit of an advantage. The funny car racing's so tight, so close, and anything will help. So there's some fuel system stuff, some clutch things, and just always trying to make the engine run better. So Jimmy Prox, he loves trying to make more horsepower, So I think if we take what we had last year and not get too crazy, too off base, and try to refine it with some of these new things, it might give us some more consistency and a little more power.
I think that's dangerous for everybody else.
Yeah.
When you consider it. Yeah.
They're working hard too. Those other teams, they haven't been sitting still.
No.
Those guys, it's that's what this sport's all about. That's how it's got to this point. You look over the history, and you look back 25 years ago, and you just look at the leaps and bounds that we've made. And that's guys like Austin Coyle and Jimmy Prock and Dale Armstrong, all these guys. I love, just seeing where the technology's come.
Yeah. Speaking of advantages and the tinkering to be more competitive, any talks with Chevrolet about improvements on the body, if there could be improvements on the body, or what might be coming down the pipeline because, the Camaro eventually is being phased out?
Yeah, I feel we have a really good aero setup right now. I don't think, we just signed a new 3-year deal with Chevrolet, and I don't see anything changing, drastically aerodynamic wise or body design or anything like that. So we're pretty happy with the Camaro body that we currently run. And, we built a new chassis 2 years ago. That's working out. Lexus DeJoria is going to be running one of those. They just got one from us. So she'll be running one of our new chassis. That's going to be exciting to see how they do with that.
Nice. And so I think we got to go here now, Lee, because we asked Josh Hart about it, and he was very, very honest. And for somebody like you, who was every year just in the championship fight, it seems like every time we go to Pomona, you're in that battle for the championship. So we talked about it with Josh Hart, and I want to get your opinion on it too. Mission Foods, Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. Obviously, re-racking the semifinals for the following race, and then the money's on the line, but also the bonus points that goes towards the countdown. I just want to get your opinion on it. Do you like it? Do you not? I feel like, bonus points should only be awarded for actually winning races, but just want to get your opinion on it.
Yeah. I got a lot of opinions about the point system. You know, as you can, I'm sure figure out. Okay, you know, you take 300 points away, and then you lose by 3. That's a tough pill to swallow. And I know I've been on the other side of it. Okay, I get that, but I still think you know, when you're chasing guys like Kenny Bernstein and Don Perdome for championships, and you know, when you hang your helmet up and you want to be number 2 all time in championships, you know, those guys didn't have a point system. Okay, they didn't have a playoff. You know, drag racing is a little different than other sports. Even NASCAR, you can see guys in NASCAR go, you know, have a bad pit stop and they can recover and win a race. They can even have a penalty, go to the back, come back and win the race. I've seen Tony Stewart do that. Drag racing, there are no second chances. So everything you earn, you know, it's tough to see it go out the window. So the new deal on, I guess it could create some excitement on Saturdays. I think that's what they're trying to do, some racing. But you know, I don't know. You could be, it can work a lot of ways. You could be really good on Saturdays and suck on Sundays, and it help you out, you know, in the points in the championship. So I'm not sure about all this.
Yeah, like I've been saying, just stick to the money. Stick to the money.
Yeah, just go out and race, and you know, the guy that or gal that can do the best job in all the different conditions and all the different racetracks, that should be your champ.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Was drag racing in essence is this. And like, for example, we don't, like, John Force has to qualify each and every event. There is no champions provisional. And that's something about drag racing I have always liked over NASCAR or many other motorsports or sports in general. You've got to make the show. And I feel like that sudden death type element should be carried throughout. And yeah, I think we've taken aback from that to some degree with the system in place, but we're not the ones in charge. So okay.
Definitely not. That's for sure.
Oh man.
And so I want to go back a little bit in time now. You know, we've been talking about the now and in the future and everything like that. But I saw a good comment right here from Leah Treen. Says, seen a video of 1996 where Robert was a crew guy. Robert is one heck of a racer, and definitely you are. But I want to ask, back in those days, when you're with John Force crewing on his car, winning races, winning championships, was it kind of like living a rock star lifestyle back in those days? I'm just curious.
You know, it's crazy. I thought I was the luckiest guy in the world, okay? Because number one, back then, it was tough to get on a team, okay? Especially a caliber team like John Force. That's not an easy deal to get on that team. So I felt very fortunate to have a job and a position there. But we worked hard. When we didn't race, like I said, we only had 18 races back then, but we were match racing every weekend that we didn't have a national event. That's what made Austin Coyle, Bernie Federley, John Force as a driver, and all the crew. We were sharp, okay? And back then it was crazy. We got spoiled. You'd leave a race, and if you didn't win, that was a letdown. You expected to win every race. And that was just kind of a cool thing. And I honestly thought, wow, how can life get any better than this? And then years later, I get to drive one of these things and, you know, win races and win championships. And it's honestly crazy. It's still hard to believe, you know.
I mean, 61 national event wins, third winningest funny car driver in history. I mean, it's an amazing career you put together, man. It's awesome.
Good people, you know, that's what it takes. And we've always had good people around us. It's one thing John is really, really good at is surrounding himself with great people, great teams. And, you know, it's not 4 individual teams. It's one big team trying to go out there and win 2 championships every single year.
We had John on a couple of weeks ago. John, being John, always good to have John on. Curious, has there been any interesting additions to the John Force stories of lore during this off season that Robert could possibly clue us in on? Anything interesting down there in Orbelinda and Southern California and all those places?
Not really.
Y'all have kept him pretty tame.
Yeah, I think the years have tamed him a little bit, but he still loves this. I mean, I guarantee you, he is chomping at the bit to get back in that race car in 2 days. You know, there's a reason he's won so many championships. He just doesn't give up. This is all he knows. It's all he does. And if you eat, breathe, sleep this, and live it like he has, you're bound to do well.
Do you look at John and like you go through what you just did, and I'll sum it up as that tenacity and that desire. And do you wonder, like, even for yourself, like when I'm his age, will I have that gumption? Will I have that burn? And does it astonish you that it's there where he is?
Yeah, it does. No, I won't have that. I won't be racing when I'm 74 years old. That is not going to happen. You know, I have other things I want to do too. So, but you got to give it to the guy. Okay. I mean, that's, like I said, there's a reason why he's won 16 championships. He is just determined but you know, along the way, he's given up a lot of things too. You know, I think one thing this summer or this winter, and, you know, a little extra time, because normally we're starting Pomona here, you know, in another week or so, with this extra time for Gainesville, John's got to spend a lot more time with his grandkids and you know, watch them play hockey. And I know he's excited about watching my daughter get back in her Super Comp car.
Yeah, isn't it crazy to think, like, if this was regular schedule, we'll be heading out to Pomona? Like, I'm here in Orange County right now, so I'm not far from Pomona. And just think, you know, next weekend we'll be burning nitro, but we got to wait a full another month, you know, for nitro to start. So it kind of sucks. But I mean, for you, Robert, you mentioned how John's chopping at the bit to get back in the race car. But I mean, how much are you chopping at the bit? Because it's a longer off season, and just knowing, you know, after how the season ended last year, I'm sure you want to, you know, kind of bounce back, and, you know, the hunger's still there to, you know, to win a championship next year for sure.
Oh, I think I'm more hungry than ever after a year like last year and how it ended. We definitely have something to prove, and can't wait to get back in there. I've been thinking about it a lot. Can't wait, you know, I want to go down the track the first time and pull the parachutes. I don't want to go out there and, you know, make a 330-foot run just to check something out and see how things are going. I want to go pull the chutes first run.
I like it. Well, speaking of those first runs, you mentioned briefly that testing is upcoming for John Force Racing. Testing, it seems kind of wonky this year, with like the test session last week, test session this week, test session before Gainesville, no actual like big pro type of test session. I've heard of other test sessions happening. You know, can you give us any inside clue on why that has been? Is it actually beneficiary to the teams? Is one big pro session better? You know, testing in 2023, how will it kind of be remembered on?
Yeah, it is going to be odd. It's going to be weird, because normally, like you say, pro has a big test session, and you can see what all the other teams are running. You can even run side by side. And, you know, with these kind of private test sessions, you really don't know what's going on. We're going with Coletta's. I think Alexis is going to be running. So we'll have some cars. The biggest thing for us is that, you know, hopefully enough cars are running that the track's good. Okay, we need a really good racing surface, like we do always when you have this kind of horsepower, to be able to learn anything. So it is going to be a little different, but, you know, I'm sure the few days before Gainesville for the actual race, there's going to be some testing, and I think just about every team will be out there, and you can kind of see how you stack up against everybody else then.
And you think about these race cars, Robert, 330 miles an hour, 11,000 horsepower, and you go through this long off season, extended off season. You know, jumping in these race cars isn't just a normal thing. It's not just like picking up a basketball or throwing a football or something like that. Is there any kind of apprehension and I know you guys, this is what you guys do. This is your living, but is there any like kind of like, man, I'm a little kind of like, it's been a while, kind of shaking off the rust or, a little apprehension jumping behind a wheel of a race car for the first time in a while?
Well, I'm not apprehensive about it, but there's no doubt about, 3 or 4 months off and not being in the car. It's going to take you a few runs to get up to speed. These things accelerate so fast that it's hard for your brain to process. So it'll take a few runs to kind of, acclimate myself back to the car and get my eyes out there and try to be ahead of the car instead of the car being ahead of you. But that's one thing, like I said a minute ago, you want to go out there and make a full run, the first run. Okay. And, it'll all start coming back. But we'll all be rusty. That's for sure. You're not gonna want to go out there and go straight to Gainesville and try to win a race without having some testing.
Yeah, working with Doug Foley and him being a part-time team, he would always say, look, that first qualifying session is get back up to speed from not being in the car just 3 weeks, much less months. So it is amazing what you all go through in a season. And it would be fascinating to see like what your muscle skills and reactions are in the off season toward the end of it to the end of the season, like when you are done completed. That would be interesting to see. I bet it's far quicker toward the end than it is in the beginning.
Without a doubt. You're exactly right. And when I noticed it the most is after, the John Force Racing team, we sat out the 2020 season. We went to the first 2 races and then we sat out. So basically we were out a year, and get back in the car, man, it was like starting over. It was, and then, even reaction times, my reaction times suffered for a while there. I had to work harder than I'd ever worked to get it back to where, it's normal and average for me.
And so, I know John, he never likes thinking about the end. And for you, I know you have a lot more seat time left. You're going to be in the car for a long time. But like I said, 61 wins, 3 world championships, one of the winningest nitro drivers of all time. How long does Robert Hight plan on doing this? How long before, he says, I kind of, I'm cool with what I've accomplished in my career.
Dang, Darren, you trying to age the man?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to ask, No.
Yeah. I don't know. It's with sponsors that we have, I want to keep doing it. When you don't have any funding, that's probably when it's gonna, tell me that it's time to hang it up. But still got sponsors willing to invest in you, and especially the great partners we have now. Want to go out there and do a good job for them as long as I can.
I say we get to 100 wins. Not that far off. Let's get to 100. Let's do it.
Yeah, at
6 world championships.
8 a year, we get there, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's right.
Do it. Well, Robert, look, 2023. I'm sure Darren thinks, as long as me and many others watching and commenting along, that it's going to be a phenomenal year for John Force Racing, and in particular for Robert Hight and crew. You mentioned your daughter's Super Comp car. What will her year look like in racing? Will it be a step up at all in competition and, activity, or kind of still, putting more roots down, getting more experience, that type of thing? What can we expect on that side?
It's gonna be a slow process. If you asked her, she wants to be out there right now racing, but she's a senior in high school. I want her to be a part of all the festivities and everything that goes on with being a senior. I want her, racing will always be here. That stuff won't. Then the summertime, hopefully we're going to get to some division races and national events, and get her some more seat time. And then it's going to be college. So it's going to be a slow process, but just keep at it and get to run every chance we get. She's really impressed me so far. It's a lot of fun. And I want to thank, Billy Torrance. He really helped us out. We got a car from him, and he and Autumn, I mean, they're tight. So, and I know that if I ever am busy, Billy will help run it, and I'm totally confident and, feel good about that. So really want to thank him for all he's done for us.
Lee, you talked about how I was trying to age Robert. Well, I'm feeling aged right now. I mean, it feels like I'm getting old because when I was watching drag races as a kid, I remember Autumn was like a little baby. Now she's going to college. Like, man, that just tells me I'm getting old now. It's like, wow, it's crazy. Time just flies, doesn't it?
It is crazy. It is. Yep. But she loves this stuff. She can't get enough of it. I can tell you that right now.
Grand National Roaster Show. Tell us about that out of Pomona this past weekend.
I've always wanted to go see that, and something's always come up on that weekend. But last weekend, had some free time and went and checked it out. And I love street rods, love any kind of hot rodding. And man, there were some amazing cars there. It was a lot of fun, a lot of people. It was a good time. Some of the hours and the money that these people have in these cars, it is insane. I'm very impressed. Someday when I retire, maybe that's something I'll do a little bit of, is building cars like that. I think that would be pretty cool.
Robert, we look forward to seeing you at the Gators. Thank you for your time tonight and checking in with us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Okay. Hopefully we can do this a few times this year after some wins.
All right. I think that's going to be the case.
I'm down.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, guys.
Always good to talk to Robert Hight.
Yeah.
And I think everyone out there just expects championship. After last year, it's just championship.
Oh yeah. That team is hungry. Robert Hight's hungry. Jimmy Prock, the whole team. New sponsors with Cornwell and Flavor Pack. They're going to come out swinging at the Gator Nationals, and I'm gonna throw it out there. I think they're going to win about 6-7 more races this year. I know they won 8 last year. He said it's going to be pretty hard to top. Last year. I think it will be with the competition, but I think they'll have another amazing season. Like I said, 6-7 wins, a bunch of number one qualifiers, and I think they're going for that juggler in 2023.
Right. It's going to be at least 5 wins, at least.
Yeah.
Come
on, give him 6 or 7. Give him 6 or 7. At least
5. At least I didn't cap it. I said at least 5.
I don't appreciate you telling me I'm trying to age Robert Hight. I wasn't trying to go there, right? No, okay.
Hey, then you aged yourself.
I did. So I got myself back.
So
you're right.
Yeah, Robert Hight, that crew, they're going to have a great year, and I really feel like in Funny Car, the NHRA, the media, all the people involved, I really feel like they could play up Ron versus Robert more than it's played up.
Oh, for sure.
Because, they're 3, they are 2 and 3, like in all of it. And, when John Force steps off the scene, which I hope is still a while, it's Robert and Ron, boom, top.
Yeah. I mean, both have 3 world championships. Ron has 72 wins. Robert has 61, so not far apart. I mean, think about it. You got Ron Capps in the 70s and Robert Hight in the 60s. I mean, that's like legendary status right there. I mean, most people in their career were what? Less than, probably somebody gets like 20 or 10 or something like that. But these dudes have 60 or 70 wins. It's amazing. And you got to throw Matt Hagan in there too, because Matt Hagan, I feel like it's like a 3-way battle, a triple threat match between Ron Capps, Robert Hight, and Matt Hagan. I think that's going to be the same battle this year. But let's see if, J.R. Todd or Alexis DeJourier can punch their way back into the winner's circle. Tim Wilkerson this year, it's been a while since they won. Let's see if they can do that.
It's certainly, Tim may be the one to, I don't know if there's higher expectations on Tim Wilkerson necessarily, but there certainly is going to be eyes watching. And if there is a marked improvement, I don't think people will be shocked. I'm expecting that he's going to have more focus in that program than before with the backing from Skag, and possibly even more help than before. Not saying that he didn't have great help, not saying that, but more help does make sense, because I'm gonna throw this out there, Darren. I had a conversation with a driver earlier this week, made an interesting comment to me, which was an observation that, well, it's hard at times to be competitive because many of the big teams are putting on salary, putting on their staff the minds that think competitively and can tune competitively, therefore taking away competitive measures because there's less people to do that tuning and thinking.
Wow, that was deep.
Ooh, I know.
That was deep.
That's like some espionage level, going behind the scenes, removing competition because you're just taking up the best guys who could do it and do it against you.
Hey, like a preacher at a black church. Say that one more time.
Oh no. Oh. You really want me to do that? Oh, wow. Darren, I don't want you calling HR. I don't want you calling HR, okay?
Change subject. Let's go somewhere else.
Well, man, look, it has been good doing the show with you tonight. Thank you for pinch hitting for Slamming Sam, Mr. Smith. And I think we've had a great show. Good to talk with Josh Hart. Good to talk with Robert Hight. And good to have each and every one of you following along. Thank you for commenting. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Darren, any last thoughts from you?
Nah, just what an amazing show. Thank you for having me on the show here today. Pinch hitting for Slamming Sam. Thank you, Bobby. And just what a great, show with Josh Hart and Robert Hight. And look forward to seeing them have, much success in 2023. And like we said, the countdowns of the March meet is going to be Leah Darren rerun the tape. I like that comment. But yeah, just what a great show. And I'm about to go see LeBron James chase history tonight. So let's get it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go do Uber. Okay. So
make that
everybody
money,
out there, love, peace, and chicken grease. Till next time, we're out.